If you've never heard of this cut of steak, then you really need to, because it's better than skirt and flank steak, and it's half the price. Let's get into it. This is flap steak, also known as bavette steak. It comes from the bottom sirloin, and it has a very similar grain structure to skirt steak. As you can see, the grain structure goes east to west, as well as it has a very similar thickness to flank steak, and it's infinitely cheaper. Let's talk about pricing. Got this at Costco, 2 flap steaks, $43.65, $12.99 per pound. Just to put that in perspective, flank steak can be about $15 to $17 per pound, and skirt steak can be well over that, going into about like $17 to $25 per pound. That is crazy. Those are not as good of cuts, if I'm being honest. Let's get into marinating this guy, because that's the key to getting all the flavor out of it. So I'm gonna do a classic, kind of my twist on a carne asada marinade. We're gonna start with some lime juice. I'm just using 1 very large lime, or you can use 2 small medium limes. Not the super small ones, do not get key limes. It's a very different flavor. I have some neutral oil, gonna add this in. I have my fire red hot sauce. This has blood orange in it, so fire hot sauce. We're gonna add some soy sauce. I personally prefer low sodium soy sauce, so you can add a little bit more and you're not gonna like increase your blood pressure. I'm gonna add the classic SPG and the secret Coca-Cola. All right, so a lot of people for their carne asadas, they like to add beer, but I like using Coke because it adds just a little sugar. Good Lord. I love using Coke because it adds a little bit of sugar and it kind of brightens it up a little bit, but you're more than welcome to use beer. That is probably a little bit more traditional. Get a little swig. All right, so we add in our Coke. We're gonna mix this all together. Now, a little bit more about like adding some soda or beer is it kind of helps to break down the meat because of the carbonation. So it makes it soften. And honestly, this is already a pretty soft cut of meat, but it just makes it a little bit more tender. We're gonna marinate this for at least 4 hours, but ideally overnight. So we're gonna be back here in about 12 hours cooking this guy hot and fast on the fire grill. And I will see you in 10 seconds, which it will really be like 12 hours. For me. I'm gonna place this in the fridge. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. So, all right, cool, bye. Okay, we're back. Day 2, and these guys have been marinating overnight. Look at how beautiful they look. I'm gonna add them onto our ripping hot fire grill to sear off for just a couple of minutes. So we got these guys going ripping hot on our grill. I'm just gonna let them cook for a couple of minutes per side until they have that beautiful outside crust. The one nice thing about this is that they're thick enough that you don't have to worry about them quite like you do with skirt steak. Skirt steak takes like 10 seconds to cook and then it's overcooked. But flank steak, the one hard thing about flank steak is I can lie to you about its internal temperature. So it may say it's 112 or 115 internal and you only have a couple more minutes, but you gotta cook it to like 130 in my opinion to get that real like medium rare on flank steak. So these guys, nice, easy, simple, thin like skirt steak, but thick enough to be like flank steak. We're gonna get a good crust on these. All right, so this guy, I'm starting to see browning on the outside edges, and I'm starting to see a little bit of pooling of the moisture coming out of the meat itself. So I'm gonna flip them. It has that like nice little tiger stripe going on, and it has a really, really good redness to it. So that means that the marinade took really well to the steak. All right, so we're gonna let them cook for just a couple more minutes. All right, so this front guy is done. So I'm gonna pull him off and let him rest. Look at that bad boy. This guy just needs a couple more seconds. Pull him off. Look at these guys. So we just got a beautiful brown, golden brown color on the outside. The reddish hue is the marinade that's really seeped into the steak. It's looking good. I'm making fajitas with these because you can make fajitas with skirt and flank, but now you can make it with flap. I'm adding a big cast iron skillet on. We're gonna saute our veggies, but I needed to preheat first. Okay, so we got all our steak. Been resting for a couple of minutes. Look how juicy that is. Juicy, J-U-I-C-Y. So we want to slice it this way. The way I'm going to do that is 2 slices, making 3 segments, turn it 90 degrees, slice it against the grain. Or you could just like roll it up like this and slice her up. Now you can see it's thicker in some parts and thinner in other parts. It isn't a perfect science, but it gets the job done. I'm just gonna segment it out. Since we're making fajitas, I'm just gonna slice on a little bit of an angle to make them a little bit wider so they're even better for like adding to your tortilla or whatever you're really wanting to do. Normally flap steak is out with some of the other like thinner cuts, like thin cut ribeyes and stuff like that. You may need to ask for it if you ever want it at Costco. They may not actually have it out, but if you're not seeing it at your local Costco, then just ask. Carne asada, so good. It has a very similar texture to flank. I think it has that pull that's similar to skirt steak, where like you can see that grain structure on there and like you just pull it apart. It honestly, in my opinion, has all the benefits that flank has without the negatives and all the benefits of skirt without the negatives. Let's make these into some killer fajitas. Okay, so I have some peppers and some sliced onions. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil, some salt, pepper, garlic. Mix this all together. This is gonna create our base. We're just wanting these guys to soften. We're not really gonna cook these guys like super far down. All right, so these guys are just gonna saute for 60 seconds or so. Once they're starting to kind of go from this white to a little translucent, we can add our steak on top. Everybody doesn't like their veggies, and truth is, like, it's sometimes hard for me to appreciate veggies when I eat so much meat, but fajita veggies deserve their place in the Hall of Fame. So easy, so good, so simple. Now you can easily do this inside. I do recommend making sure that they're softened right before serving, because I kind of want a little bit of some crispiness, some crunch to my veggies, my fajita veggies. But now that they're kind of softening, I'm gonna add on the steak. Might as well add all that juice back on top. Now you might be saying, Derek, this is gonna overcook the meat. Yeah, it's gonna look a little bit more brown and steamed than that beautiful medium rare. So if you don't wanna do it this way, you do not need to. However, because we marinated our flap steak, it should be extremely tender. Let this saute for just a couple more seconds, and then we're gonna serve it up tableside sizzling on this cast iron skillet. Look at this beauty. I'm gonna finish off with some cotija cheese. I'm gonna toast up a tortilla really quick. Gotta wait for the bubble. And there's the big bubble. This means it's cooking on the inside. Good to go. Got our freshly toasted tortilla. Let's start building our fajita tacos, I guess. Add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. This is extremely hot. A little sour cream. There you go. Simple. You could add more cheese if you want to, but I kind of just want to taste the steak. That is so good. Wow. It's savory. It has that beautiful marinade that's on there, and honestly, it's just as tender as skirt, just as thick and meaty as flank steak. I mean, I think that this may even be better than flank and skirt. That being said though, you can replace it with any of your favorite recipes that you would use flank or skirt with. You can do it with carne asada, your fajitas, you're making tacos. You could do steak pinwheels with this guy. I haven't tried smoking it, but I think reverse sear it in smoke would be really good too. It's a great cut, best price that you can get for such a thin, meaty cut. And in an environment and a market where everything's getting more and more expensive, I think flap is becoming a winner. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Go and check out some of my favorite flap steak recipes in the description below. Go and check out my seasonings, my sauces, the fire grill. This guy was awesome to cook this flap steak on. And as always, stay so friggin' delicious. Cheers. Who's gonna eat all this? This is a lot. Oh, my dad is on carnivore diet right now. He'll eat it all. Okay, cool. See y'all next time. Bye.